You could say that anxiety and I are best friends. If your best friend is toxic and negative all the time and doesn't want you to be happy. But nobody knows me better. Anxiety has been a part of my life for as long as I can remember. It has become a part of who I am. Some days I wish life would just stop for a minute so I could catch my breath and let my brain rest, but it never seems to work that way. You know the feelings. You're scared to leave your bed in the morning because that means you'll have to expose yourself to the world. Then you try to get yourself to accomplish something, but you can't concentrate because, like any other best friend, all anxiety wants to do is hang out with you. It's all about him. It's all about what if things go wrong. What if that tiny pain in my side does mean that I'm finally completing my transformation into a woolly mammoth? What if the kids at school think my head is too big? What if that person wakes up one day and decides that they don't like me anymore? What if I don't ever get to experience the joy that it seems like everyone else does? You put on a serious face so that people don't see your fear and your tears. You try to act like you're just as normal as everyone else. And just when you think you're done worrying about something, it sucker punches you to the ground again, and you'll gladly let the referee count to 10 because you're tired of trying to get up. Anxiety is an evil friend and makes the world seem like a terrible place. It's a parasite that feeds off of your misery like that bully in school. And while that bully never left the school, we learned to stop feeding him and he didn't bother us as much anymore. And maybe we can do the same thing with anxiety. The most important thing that I've adopted to deal with my own anxiety, which is something that you might hear from therapists or from other people who are trying to cope with this, is to accept it as part of your life. Accepting that negative thoughts will happen, accepting that the world is out of our control, and that things don't always happen the way that we want them to. You will feel it. You're gonna have your bad days and your bad weeks and months and maybe even years. But that doesn't mean that anxiety has to define you or control you. And you don't always have to try and fight it and let it ruin your day and stop you from doing anything. That's what it wants. So I try to just let it happen, let it pass, let myself feel how I'm feeling because I know that bottling it all up will make it even worse. But I also know that even though that bully of anxiety is bigger and stronger than me, he isn't gonna win over me. But for those days that we're just stuck feeling our feels, I've learned a few practical physical things that we can do to help ease our struggle. The primary thing that helps me is to live in the present. We like to create imagined scenarios about our future, and we like to overanalyze our past, but we can only ever live in the present. So we can always change what we're doing right now to help our mind engage with reality. The best way to do this is to give ourselves sensory experiences. Wherever you are, shut your phone off, take a deep breath, and think of 3 things that you can hear, touch, and see. Maybe smell something nice like lavender or cologne or perfume that you like. Take a long look out your window and observe the trees swaying in the wind, the birds chirping and flying around, maybe people walking down the street or a car driving by. Nature has so many beautiful things that we can use our senses to take in. Even better is to get ourselves outside and go for a walk around the neighborhood or at a park, breathe in the fresh air and feel the sun beam down on us. Everything that we let our senses experience can help focus our mind to immediate reality and take it away from fear and anxiety. And there's always the physical things that we can do in our homes that make us happy. Doing any activity, even something like cleaning my room, can be so peaceful. Doing detailed work like dusting, cleaning your shoes, or organizing things very neatly forces us to engage with the present and lets our thoughts take a back seat. You might like to cook a meal or bake cookies because of the sense of control that you feel from it, the nice smells that it makes, and the peace that it brings to you. And maybe after that, you can watch some funny videos or shows that you know will make you laugh, and we all know how much better laughter makes us feel. Even the tiniest things like putting a photo of your cat or your dog on your phone lock screen can make you smile each time and realize that there's so much good in your life even in the darkest moments. And one thing that always makes us feel better is taking care of our bodies. Deep breathing, stretching, yoga, and exercise stimulate our happiness hormones and make our brain engage with the present. Doing 30 minutes of exercise 3 to 5 times a week is proven to boost your confidence and your mood and reduce anxiety symptoms. And if you're someone who gets hit with a brick of anxiety the moment that you wake up, maybe exercising first thing in the morning will be especially helpful to you and set a better tone for the day. And while we might like to eat our comfort foods and drink alcohol when we're anxious, It's better to eat healthier and wholesome foods when we're feeling at our lowest. Overindulging can feel good in the moment, but it's only temporary and you feel just as bad, if not worse, when the effects wear off. Reducing sugar, alcohol, and caffeine intake, as hard as that might be for coffee addicts like me, will reduce our cortisol levels, or our stress hormones, and will prevent us from becoming dependent on unhealthy habits as our way of healing. It's unfortunate that we can't just cut out our thoughts completely like we can do with the unhealthy things that we consume, but trying a combination of these physical activities and sensory experiences can definitely trick our mind to fixate on positives rather than negatives. And if you're still feeling anxious despite trying all of these things, write down how you're feeling. Journaling and keeping track of your thoughts and your fears are shown to reduce stress and can help you realize what your primary triggers are and the times of the day that you feel them. And they can help you focus on specific things that you might need to change. It's okay if things go wrong, if that thing that you've been worrying about actually happens. But you've already been through so much and overcome so much. You've survived 100% of your worst days. And even though we're all going to have more bad days, each time we get stronger and become more equipped to get past them. We have to push through the darkness and find happiness within ourselves. We absolutely cannot place our happiness or our value in other people or what they think of us. They shouldn't have that responsibility, and we should be able to be happy on our own. So try to do one thing for yourself and acknowledge how it makes you feel. Then do another, and before you know it, you'll be moving forward even if it feels like you're trudging through mud. Notice that the title of this video says stop and not stopped. For me at least, dealing with anxiety is more about living with it rather than overcoming it. It's not a one-time fight and then all of a sudden our anxiety is gone forever. It's always going to be there, sometimes it's louder, sometimes it's quieter. But you can let it talk when it needs to talk, and push forward with the confidence that you can still achieve things and be happy anyway. The most beautiful waters will still have their waves, but if you let yourself ride them or at least tread the water for a while, you won't drown in them, and eventually you'll be able to swim to the shore.